and welcome to this tarot reading Scorpio signs. In today's reading, we're going to look at what the year of 2023 is going to look like for you. So stay tuned till the very end. The very first card that we have for you is the Mystic card with number 21 on it. And this card, as a whole, this archetype has this mysterious energy surrounding it. And for you, Scorpio signs, I can sense that you are at a stage in your life where there is a lot of change and transformation that is taking place for you. And with that change and transformation, there are a lot of deeper lessons that you're uncovering. And with the Scorpio, I see a very strong sense of curiosity about understanding the meanings of situations, that why did you go through a certain experiences, why was that in your path, what were you meant to learn from it, and how can you use those lessons to move forward and shape your journey ahead. And with the Mystic sign, we also see a lot of emphasis on change, transformation, and transmutation, where you go through certain experiences and you learn from them, and you then transmute that energy from that experience into something much more fruitful that you can take in your path, that you can move forward carrying with you. And also, because we have the imagery of the butterfly in this card, I can sense that there is some sort of a metamorphosis that you are going through in your own personal journey, in your own spiritual journey. So the theme of transformation is really, really huge in this reading, and I can see that you are moving from that position of being in a cocoon to met going through this process of metamorphosis and becoming this brilliant butterfly who is much more empowered, much more in tune with your own purpose, where you're headed. And with the Mystic, there is also this sense of um that you're gaining clarity in whatever questions that you're seeking. If there are some unanswered question in your life, that why did I go through such an experience, why was this person in my life, why did I meet this person, why did I encounter this connection, or why did I have to go through this difficult period, whatever that challenge might have been for you. And all these questions for you, I can see, Scorpio signs, that you are someone who really introspects a lot and you try to make meaning out of the experiences that you've had. And now I'm seeing that in the year of 2023, as you continue making more experiences, you're slowly gaining a lot of clarity, and a lot of these unanswered questions that you've had for so long are becoming much more clearer to you. So, with that, Scorpio signs, let's move on to the tarot cards that I've pulled out for you. The very first card that we have here is a summary of 2022 and what that year might have looked like for you. So, for you, we have the Three of Pentacles, and to me, this card speaks a lot about being in a learning phase, being a student of some sort, and take this message as it resonates. It might be different for some of you Scorpio signs. For some, I see that you were actually in a position of being a student. Maybe you've recently graduated, you've recently finished some form of studying in your life, and now you're moving on to the next chapter. And that is why there could be a lot of emphasis on change and transformation, because you're making use of this learning, this experience and expertise, and now you're shaping that into something. And that could be what this Mystic sign with the transformation could be talking about. But for some of you, I feel that you are a student of life, which means that there are a lot of experiences that you've had, you've learned from those experiences, and now you are not going through life from a perspective of just one thing to the next. Rather, you truly immerse yourself in whatever experience that you've had, and you try to make sense of certain things, you try to keep improving your own self. And maybe there is a lot of reflection that might be happening for you, Scorpio signs. You could be going back to your past, thinking about a certain experience, and even if it is a hurtful experience, I see you trying to um, make sense of it, trying to see why that happened. And sometimes that is a very helpful thing to do, because you constantly keep growing and learning. You take accountability of your own actions, and you also learn to set better boundaries with other people. But a caution that comes with such an approach of constantly introspecting is that sometimes we might get stuck in those past experiences instead of moving forward. And that is why we have the symbol of the mystic or this butterfly on this card. That yes, think about those experiences, think of the lessons that you've gained from that, but don't stay stuck in those situations. Know when you need to step away from it and outside of it. And that is what the major energy in 2023 is going to be for you, where you acknowledge a certain experience, a situation, maybe even a relationship or certain decision that you took, and however shape that took in your life. But then you're moving on to this energy of becoming the butterfly or truly blossoming, and leaving the past situation behind where it should be and not carrying that energy with you. So, as you step into 2023, and whenever you happen to watch this reading, the question to ask yourself is, what do I need to let go of? Or what is the situation in my life that I've already learned the lesson from, and now I am not going to repeat that situation in my life, or I'm not going to step into that older energy that doesn't serve me anymore. So, with that, let's look at the second card that we have for you, which talks about the overall lesson that you're learning from this past year or this Three of Pentacles situation. And the card that we have for you is the King of Wands. And this card tells me that for you, Scorpio signs, the major lesson with the King of Wands, there is this energy of movement, of taking action, of being in control of your own life. And with the King of Wands, I see that whatever experience that you've had in the past, and it's interesting that even this king is looking behind, looking back at the journey that has happened so far. So, with the King of Wands, again, there is this sense of a balance that yes, look back at your past, look back at the experiences that you've had, but don't stay in those experiences. Know when you need to move on, when you need to take some action to look forward and march forward in that direction. And with the King of Wands, I also get this energy that you are being called upon to follow your purpose and your passion, and to ask yourself that what are the things in your life that truly make you feel passionate. It could be about a specific person, a connection, a relationship, or maybe a path that you want to follow in your academic or professional life. Or in general, it could be about something that you pursue in your own life that fills you up with so much love and passion, and it drives you to keep moving forward. So that is the lesson that I'm seeing, you're learning from the past year and you're gaining from that experience and then stepping into the next year. So as I said, if there is a difficult experience that you've had, learn from it, gain the lessons, and then universe is really calling upon you to create a plan for yourself, create what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and also asking yourself that what are the areas in your life that you're going to pour your energy into, and maybe what is something that you need to let go of or to step away from. And now let's see what is this area that you need to focus on, or what could be your dreams and aspirations that you're going to be working on in the next year. And for that, the card that we have for you is the Empress. And the Empress card being here, this tells me that one important area of your life that you're focusing on in the next year is about establishing something of yourself. So it could be that you are creating something that you own, it could be a creative project, it could be maybe some of you are actually designing or creating something, it could be something to do with your career, your professional life, or maybe there is a startup, an NGO, or some service that you're providing, or a business, or something of that sort, where you're really sowing the seeds maybe now itself, and then you're seeing that blossom and grow in the year of 2022. And from a financial perspective, from an abundance perspective, we see so many signs of wealth, of abundance, and prosperity that is coming your way. And not just that, but it also feels like you are truly being nourished by whatever it is that you're doing in your life. So I'm seeing that a major component of this transformation that you're going through could have something to do with the term that I'm hearing is rebranding yourself, that you are focusing more on yourself, your identity, who you are, what you represent, and how you show yourself to the world around you, and if that aligns with the values that you hold dear to yourself. And here in the King of Wands, we see the king looking backwards, looking at the lessons that you've learned so far. But the Empress is looking forward. The Empress is more inclined towards making decisions about what steps to take next. And with the Empress, I also get the sign that some of you could be involved in teaching or some role that involves imparting your own knowledge and experience to other people. So that could be an actual career that some of you follow in your life, that you're involved with teaching in some capacity or just imparting knowledge on whatever level that might be. But even otherwise, with this Empress energy, I'm seeing that you are first of all going through your own healing, your own journey, and as we saw with the mystic, your own transformation. And then whatever you've learned from it, I'm seeing that that knowledge is not going to stay just within you. You could be sharing that with others, and this can be in any form at all. Maybe you're, writing a book that talks about your experiences. Maybe you're sharing it through some creative outlet. You could be working as a counselor, as a teacher, or just maybe some of you could be motivational speakers. But in whatever capacity you are working in, or whatever your life might look like, there is some sense of imparting the wisdom that you've gained through your own experiences. And it doesn't have to be just the things that I've mentioned. It could be something as simple as talking to your immediate circle, your friends and family, about what your journey has been like. And for some of you, I do see, especially because we have the mystic card here, a lot of you Scorpio signs, you could be spiritually inclined. Maybe some of you um, are curious about learning tarot yourself, or other form of practices like energetic healing or something of that sort, because I do see this inclination in the mystic card of working with the spiritual world and also the physical world that we inhabit. And I see that you could be the one who bridges that gap. So maybe some of you have had a spiritual awakening in the past year. You have gone through certain experiences, and you, as a soul, I see you as being very inquisitive, wanting to know more, wanting to question all these experiences that you've had. And that might have led to some insight for you, which now you're going to share with others around you. And I'm also getting a very strong message that you are someone who, whatever experience or journey that you go through, all of this is placed in your path for a reason, because whatever you're learning from it, that is something that empowers not just you but also others around you. And and it can be something as simple as maybe you tried to create a business of your own, you tried to do something and you invested in it, but then you saw certain challenges that came up in the past year, and now because you went through that journey, now you know the strategies to actually to implement, so that you don't go through that sort of a difficult experience again. And that is something that you could share with someone else who wants to create that same change in their lives. Or it could be about, maybe there is a certain profession that you're working in right now, and maybe there are some changes that are required, and because you went through that difficult journey to understand what needs to be changed, now you can let others know, you can share your experiences. So the overall message here is, go through your own journey, your own experiences, think about what you're learning from it, and if there's any way in which you can share this information with others so that you can make their lives also better. But overall, I also see a very strong message that irrespective of what the past year has been like for you, the coming year is going to be all about establishing something of yourself once again, and this huge transformation that you're going through. So now let's look at what might help you in this journey of transformation. And the card that we have for you is this 10 of cups, and this is a very positive and a very bright energy, which tells me that you are going to, like, 10 of cups is the maximum potential of emotional fulfillment, of happiness, of joy that one can encounter. And with this energy being present in your cards, I can sense that maybe the past year was not as joyful, or even if there were happy moments, there could have been some challenges that somehow overshadowed that joy and happiness. And it might not have been as it might not have been the way that you expected the year to go, and you might have had certain goals or aspirations for yourself, but it didn't pan out in that way. And the next year is, again, as I mentioned, with this energy of change and transformation, that the next year is going to be so different from the journey that you've had so far. And with the 10 of cups, I'm seeing that, first of all, if you are living with your family, you're taking care of your family, or if you have a family of your own, whatever that family might look like for you, I'm seeing there are blessings that are being poured down upon, not just on you on an individual level, but also for your whole family. There is a lot of joy and celebration. For some of you, there might actually be an important event that takes place in your life in the next year. It could be maybe relocating to a new place, having a homecoming of some sorts, or a housewarming party, or for some of you this could be a birthday or an anniversary or actual marriage or something of that sort, where the whole family is gathered to celebrate something. And because I mentioned with the Empress that a lot of focus is on improving not just your own life, but also of that around you. So, some of you, if you've gone through your own healing journey, I'm seeing that because of your own efforts, your entire family, or it doesn't have to be just the family, but it could be your friends or the community around you, it could even be your work environment. I'm seeing that you are creating better outcomes for other people around you as well, and not just for yourself. And overall, I also see that if there has been any form of lack in the past, where you felt that you're not feeling that sense of belongingness, or you don't have people that you can truly lean on when you need support in your life, I'm seeing that that is the kind of environment and community that you're attracting in your life in the next year, where you are surrounded by people who feel happy by your achievements, who celebrate with you, who enjoy with you, and who share a same vision as yours, and they're really there for you whenever you need them. And with the 10 of cups, I also see that, or if you are trying to manifest a romantic connection in your life, we see positive signs for that also. With the 10 of cups, that you are meeting someone who wants to create the same kind of family, create the same kind of future that you are envisioning for yourself, and that person just fits into your life. And we'll see more messages about love moving forward, but I can definitely sense that the overall theme of next year is going to be change, transformation, and a lot of this happiness that is entering your life. There is going to be so much joy that enters your life. Now, before we look at the message for love, let's look at what is a potential challenge or obstacle that might be in your path that you need to be aware of. And the card that we have for you is Two of Wands. So, this card coming here as a challenge tells me that one thing that you need to look out for is maybe, especially because we had the King of Wands here that spoke about taking action, taking charge of your situation. So, this change or this challenge in your life could be change in your external environment. Maybe you could be moving someplace else for travel or work, or um, as I was also saying earlier, maybe you started off on a particular path, but then you are getting to know your own self on a much deeper level, and you're questioning whether to continue with that energy or not. And if you ever reach that point where you're unsure whether to continue on a certain path or not, that's when you need to connect with this energy of the Empress as well as the 10 of Cups. You need to ask yourself that, is this path something that nourishes me? And it's not just about abundance on the level of wealth and money, but also your soul. Are you feeling nurtured? Are you feeling as if your entire energy is, it gets replenished when you follow that path, when you continue on that path? And also with the 10 of cups, if you ever reach that point of making a decision, make sure that the decision is not just for your own self, but also people around you and your own emotional well-being and happiness. Are these taken into account? And once you feel, and also intuitively, if you feel that a certain path or a change is needed in your life, that's when it's going to be time to make that change in your life, to step into that energy. And because we see here two of wands coming in the position of a challenge, it tells me that some of you would require, Scorpio signs, to make some adjustment in your life when this change happens. And this card being here tells me that the universe wants you to first of all prepare yourself and be a bit more adaptable as well as flexible. So yes, with the king of wands, as I said, have a plan, create a plan for yourself, but make sure that plan also has scope for changes, scope for modification. And if there are certain changes that have to be made, then make sure that your plans are flexible enough to incorporate those. This change could be anything like, as I mentioned, relocation, change in the career or the path that you're following, or maybe there are certain changes that takes place in the role that you're performing in your life. And maybe there is a person that you encounter, a relationship that enters your life where you have to make some personal changes. And at that point, the question is going to be about, are you going to welcome that change with that flexibility, or are you going to continue with the path that you're already on? And I'm seeing that for most of you, this is not going to be a huge conflict. It's just going to be a moment in time within the next year where you are confronted with this decision. But I feel that intuitively, you are going to know what the right decision to make is going to be, and you're going to make that decision and follow along on that path. And the very final card that we have for you is the card about your love and relationship and what you might be encountering in the next year. And the card that we have for you is the Four of Cups. So this tells me that because we saw the Ten of Cups here, I'm seeing that there is a lot of abundance and prosperity when it comes to your connections and your love life as a whole. And there is this sense of belongingness. But as I also mentioned, maybe there comes a point where there is a certain change that you have to make. For example, if you want to continue being with a certain person, you might have to move somewhere else, or you might have to, maybe for some of you it might even involve setting certain kinds of boundaries, that I am on this path, I am trying to create this kind of a life for myself, and this is the amount of energy I can spend on a connection. And if you feel that there is some re-evaluation needed, so like this card tells me that maybe a change happens, maybe there is some sort of a difficult situation that you go through, and you're only looking at the options in front of you, and that is leaving you confused, that what do I do? Do I continue with the way things are right now, or do I create a change? And here I'm seeing that whenever you encounter that sort of a situation in your love life, that's when you are going to have to think beyond the options that you think are possible, because there might be some other solution right around the corner that you're not really seeing. So a couple of examples that are coming in my mind. So if you are single and if you're trying to manifest a love connection in your life, so it might happen that you meet a certain kind of person who really fits in well with your energies, fits in well with your values, and wants to create the same kind of a family or the same kind of life that you also want to build for yourself. But maybe that person could be at a distance from you, maybe they don't live at the same place, and that's why you're thinking, should I relocate or not? And the thought that might be coming in your mind is, if I relocate, then would that mean that I'm going to have to give up on my own dreams and my own passion? But maybe the actual solution here that you might not yet be seeing is that you could still relocate and make certain changes in what you're doing professionally, so that you can have both. Like, you can continue pursuing your passions, but maybe that might look slightly different from the original plan that you had created. And that's why that message came about, being a bit flexible with your plans, that yes, have a final goal or an outcome in mind, but also be open through the ways in which you could reach that. And if there are slight changes possible, slight modifications or tweaking to those plans that you could do to incorporate this person in your life, or it could be some other situation also that you want to, maybe again I'm just using this as an example, take it if it resonates, you maybe you want to set up your business or provide certain kind of services or work in a certain capacity in your profession, and there is a specific way that you see yourself doing that, but maybe because of certain external changes, or maybe you have to move somewhere, or maybe there is just something that requires you to reevaluate your plans, and in that moment it can be a bit disappointing because you had thought things would go a certain way, but it doesn't end up happening in that way, and that requires you to make some changes. So yes, you are allowed to be disappointed, and it's obviously a bit jarring when such a change takes place in your life, but the Four of Cups is all about knowing that even in a difficult situation, if you just have a little bit more openness and if you broaden your perspective of what all is possible, that's when some other solution might just enter your life, and that could be the answer that you're looking for. So just have a bit of openness in the next year, and especially with the Mystic card, as we saw that there is transformation that is taking place, and this transformation might sometimes be uncomfortable because we have to make certain changes in who we are, in what we think our life should look like. And yes, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but when you go through those changes, that's when this metamorphosis takes place and you turn into this beautiful butterfly, this imagery that I've been connecting with this in this entire reading. And with that, let's finally look at the angel affirmation card that we have for you, Scorpio signs. And the card that we have for you is acknowledgement. So maybe if you want, you could pause, take a screenshot of the card as well as the affirmation that we have on it. But this card here says that look after yourself by acknowledging your desires and needs and taking steps to meet them. Examine and note your gifts, talents, and achievements. So, first of all, this acknowledgement card, for me, I connect this with the Empress energy, that acknowledging the true potential that is there within you. Connect with your own talents and know that once you feel truly capable and in your own abilities, that's when you'll know that irrespective of what changes take place in your life, you will still have the capacity to somehow create the, the outcomes that you've been trying to manifest. So things might externally not go the way that you've been envisioning, but that doesn't mean that your dreams fail. It just means that you need to connect with your own skills, your own capabilities and talents to devise those creative solutions for yourself. And this card also says when you accept all aspects of yourself, you feel centered and confident. Then you can genuinely acknowledge others, become aware of and nurture the good qualities, the people in your life, so that they feel relaxed and happy in your presence. So here I'm seeing the message that when you truly accept what all you are capable of, what you are equipped with to do in this lifetime, what all you can do for yourself and the people around you, and also accepting that you might encounter different kinds of people in your life and different connections that serve a specific purpose. For example, if there has been a connection that entered your life but then it didn't turn out the way that you wanted, which is what we saw with this Four of Cups energy, that you feel a bit disappointed because the situation didn't turn out in the way that you wanted. So even there you need this sense of acknowledgement and acceptance that maybe this situation happened for a specific reason, or maybe this person or this path, this situation was meant to be in my life only for a certain duration so that I could experience certain things and then be better connected with where exactly I'm meant to be. And that is the message that I'm seeing here with the acknowledgement card also. And finally, the card also says angel wisdom reminds you to recognize who you truly are, an evolved spirit in a human body. When you acknowledge your spiritual dimensions, you will align with your true self and your spirit will soar. And this is exactly what we also saw with the Mystic card, that there is some form of a spiritual awakening that could have taken place for you, or maybe that is an experience that you're going through right now. You are understanding that you are not just in this physical body, in this physical space, but you are also a spiritual being. You have a soul, a spirit, and there is this certain inherent wisdom that you already possess within you. And as you're going through life challenges, how can you connect better with your own true self? And again, this is something that comes with time, but things such as acceptance and forgiveness, maybe other people who've hurt you or harmed you in the past, definitely, those people, they need to take accountability and responsibility of their own actions, and you have to set the right kind of boundaries moving forward and acknowledge the hurt that you might have had to endure. But also, as a spiritual being, understanding that these experiences, they are in your path so that you can mature, you can grow from these, and how can you carry those lessons forward to improve not just your own life but also of others around you. And with this acknowledgement, I'm also seeing that a lot of emphasis in your life in 2023 is going to be all about just shifting your perspective. How you've been seeing things so far is going to change drastically. There is a lot of maturing, growing up, and connection with your own wisdom that I see, that is becoming so much more stronger in the next year. And especially with the mystic card, it's like certain things were hidden from you so far. You couldn't see certain spiritual truths that, or certain experiences that were in your path, you saw them in a certain perspective. And definitely, some of these experiences could have had hurt and disappointment attached with them, and when these emotions are present, they're very overwhelming and overpowering, so we stay in those emotional states and we're not able to see beyond that specific situation. But now I'm seeing that with enough time and enough distance away from those experiences, when you are truly yourself in this happy and empowered state, that's when you're becoming more open to see those situations a bit more holistically. That yes, your emotional experiences were valid, all the hurt, disappointment that you might have experienced was truly valid, but then you're also able to see that you're able to see your own strengths and resources in terms of how you dealt with that situation, how you emerged out of it, and how you have now gone through this metamorphosis in your own personal journey. And from that cocoon of you've now, or you are on your way of transforming into this beautiful butterfly. And I see that there's definitely a huge transformation that is happening for you. So make sure that you are connected in the next year with your own higher self, with your own spiritual journey that you're on, and whatever insight or wisdom that you might have gained from the past year. And you're going to realize that moving forward, there is just more evolution that is going to happen for you. That with each experience, it's not a step back, rather, it's just more resources that you're adding to your own plethora of knowledge and wisdom that you carry within you. And once you become in tune with these emotions, with these deep spiritual lessons that you're carrying with you, that's when you can truly transform and change your life and completely turn it in a different direction. So thank you so much for joining me for this reading, Scorpio signs. And remember, this was a reading for the collective, but if you want to book a personal reading with me, all the details are in the description box below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. I post regular pick a card readings, and I'm sending you a lot of love, light, and power. Happy New Year and have an amazing 2023, Scorpio signs. I'll see you in my next reading. Bye bye.